So Quinn, tell us a little bit about, there was a real life girl who inspired us to take Harry Potter and combine it with this to make fun. You want to tell us about it?
So we were learning about Malala in school.
How do you know who Malala is? You know Malala?
And so she wasn't allowed to write, and because people were threatening to hurt her and her friends, and so that's where we got part of the idea.
So we took a real world idea about a girl who lived in the Taliban rule in Afghanistan, and she was not allowed to write. And we said, well, what if you created a magical story where you took someone who was not allowed to write and put them into place, and that created the magical world. So do you know how Percy Jackson was started? Percy Jackson was actually written about a boy named Hayden. And Hayden was the boy's name. He was Rick Riordan's son. And he was really, really struggling to learn about the Greek gods. He couldn't remember any of them. And the reason why is because Hayden had ADHD. He couldn't learn like everyone else behind. So his dad decided that he was going to tell a story, and that's what became Percy Jackson. So Percy Jackson is a boy learning about Greek mythology, and he has ADHD. So looking for those things is what combined. So we had to come up with a different way to actually have a magical duel. So we needed something to write on that would work. So if you wanted to point your magic at someone, how do you point it at? What would you do to point at it? All right, so what we had to do is we had to have them be able to point something at the person they're attacking and be able to write. So in Pennymores, you don't write magic on paper necessarily. You write it on your fingernails. So what you do is all of you, I want you to hold out your hand just like this, and the girls are going to show you how we write magic in Pennymores to cast a spell. So you hold it out just like that. There you go. One hilarious, crazy moment along the way. So one of our favorite crazy moments were when the girls actually discovered that they could write magic, and they suddenly were able to try it, and Quinn is not a very good magic writer at the beginning, and so she smashes an entire cup of tea against the wall, so we have these funny reveals along the way behind it and stuff. So that's some of the things that we want to do, is come up with that one. The last thing that you need to do when you write a book is there has to be a struggle, something that's hard about it. That you have to do behind it. So something challenging into it. It can't just be all good things. So what happens in this point is there has to be a struggle. That guy Dagomar after this person. Now we never knew that this would become a big famous book. And so we saw Dagomar recently, and we had to tell him that his name is now used for the biggest, baddest bad guy in Fun.